Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. So, we are just about to the end of the turn. Now, I wanted to talk about something else, but I forgot. So you can assign different support units to the previous HQs. Now, I probably won't be able to do that now since I've launched them, but basically you can have, like, commandos assigned, and they do have a large impact on the actual landers themselves. So, anyway, we're going to go forward and see how things turn out. So we can see here that with the doctrines, we have them in place. So we are going to go to our doctrines after this phase of combat. So let's see how we turn out. Now weather. Okay. Info, here we go. Right, so weather on the ground is clear, which is good. In the air we have a front of rain coming soon. But the one effect is that's good. Okay. Now, road systems. So we have average roads down here in Italy, which isn't great. Obviously, once we start reaching into France and Germany, that's when road systems will improve considerably and we'll be able to transfer more logistics. Okay, so weather seems to be good. That's good news. Let's go ahead and go forth and conquer. Let's land our turn. And let's see. So I do believe at the moment I'll be able to call this the episode 1, I suppose you could say. We'll see. We may turn this into another preface. I think we're okay now. I think we have a good explanation of things going on. Okay. Now I'm considering targeting these railways over here. They're quite instrumental. I mean, especially this one, because it has the supplies coming over from Catania and also from Syracuse. Obviously, though, with the lines at Syracuse our targets will probably change. I may want to target the inner rail lines and basically force them to go around the entirety of the island before they can arrive at any single point. Therefore, they're having to put units on a lot more rail lines, which is going to increase the pressure on those rail lines as they try to get supplies into the actual area of operations. Okay. And there go AI Logistics is going ahead. Now, hopefully our landers will go ahead quite nicely. I'd like to see that. And we'll be able to set up depots in Sicily, and then we can see the transfer of logistics to a great degree. Okay. Right, they were forced retreat. So let's see here. So maximum level of detail is 7. Okay. So for Sherman breakdown in combat. Yeah, it seems like a lot of it is due to the breakdowns. So we captured the depot here, that's fantastic. So Gilar has been captured. Right then, so we can see all the different carrier sections breaking down in combat. So I suppose they are the embedded vehicles within the division. Okay. Let's have that on free. Trying to find a good, decent message level, really. Right, they surrender. I'm not surprised, they had only 1,200 men against 17,000, almost 18,000 men. Along with the guns and air support, obviously the naval support as well from the guns. Okay, the Italian coastal brigade there shuttered. And there we are ashore. Okay, so you can see all the naval patrols here, and interdiction patrols and different levels of reconnaissance. And there we go, air patrols. Yeah. As you can see, there's a lot of air combat going on here. Though the Axis has come off far worse, as they've lost over 110, aircraft to the actual combat in the air. But so far we've captured 2 main ports, which is good news. That's very good news. Went off without a hitch. The airborne seem to have landed quite nicely. They don't seem to have been devastated as such, which is a good thing there. There we go, those hexes are now converted to our control. That's good news. Right, we also did capture a level 2 airbase out of the Carter. That's fantastic. I like Carter. Like Carter. However the hell you say it. There we go. Right then, so we can see the losses here. So roughly equal losses. The Axis did lose more men and more guns, though we did lose more armoured fighting vehicles, but that's not too much of an issue. Air losses were actually quite good this time round. That's fantastic. Right, so destroyed units. So the Axis has lost 7 units, being the AA gun battalions, and well, especially these heavy AA battalions. That's going to hurt. Coastal Brigade. Okay. So mostly AA. Right then. So we'll take a look at the actual situation on the ground then, shall we? So we've landed down here. We've secured the port of Syracuse. The port is heavily damaged, however, so what we'll have to do is initiate priority repairs. So this will speed up the repair using administration points, which I'm fine. So we have a temporary port over here. Now basically you have temporary ports when you have a landing. So that's good. And as you can see, there we go, temporary port. So we have 51 trucks in that port, 2,078 tons of freight. Okay, now if we take a logistics, we can see here that these ports are set to different priorities. So what I'd like to do is take a look over here. So we have the temporary port. Yeah, temporary port, level 2. That one's heavily damaged, you can see it's low on the logistics list. Obviously, over time, we'll be able to ramp that up. So if we take a look by pressing 8. Okay. So the logistics will be travelling from the port over here to the port over here. And that's where the supply will be coming from, as you can see. Indeed. Okay, we'll turn that off. And for the moment. Okay. Let's take a look here. Now, if we can edit our doctrine. So we obviously have the amphibious support on here. Let's take a look at the tactical air Mediterranean. So what we want to do is we want to change the doctrinal sort of focuses here. So airfields are good and all, but I'm going to change that to a medium focus. Unit focus, not too much of an issue. We should be able to. Actually, no. Let's put that up there. We'll have interdiction on the highest. We'll have ferry lower. We'll have ports lower. In fact, we'll have the ports lowest. Railway can be medium. Units can be up there as well. Airfields can be low. That works for me. So basically we're favouring heavy interdiction while we'll go for the rail yards. We'll target the rails with a good focus on units as well, so that's fine for me. Okay, strategic air day. We'll keep up our focus on the oil, fuel and heavy industry. Obviously U-boats as well. So we have ground attacking in the south. Okay, so we're going to have a low focus on... Well, we'll have a high focus with the strategic command. So what I'll do is I'll go with no focus on the airfields at all with the tactical air command, because we have it covered in strategic air command. So that works for me. Okay. We'll have a low... We'll have non-existent focus on rail lines, actually. We'll use the strategic to target the rail lines. Well, rather, instead of that, I'll target the rail yards themselves rather than the actual railways. To the centres of the rail. Okay, that works for me. Right, there we go. Target the heavy industry. Well, actually. Let's see. We'll have oil quite high. There we go, that's fine for me. So set these directives. There we go, so we have our tasks now set. So you can see that's been edited slightly. So you can see we're not quite covering the entirety of the island, we're focusing on different parts of the island. So you can see superiority over here, which makes sense. I mean, if we take a look at transfer mode, you can see that the vast majority of the enemy's air forces are over here. We can also get a good reading of what it is as well. So we have a large number of fighters, a large number of tacticals, I suppose you could say like tactical bombers or that sort of thing, and then auxiliaries basically being transport planes, reconnaissance planes, that sort of thing. We do have a massive and overwhelming air superiority in the area, which is good news. Okay. So that's what we've got going on here. Now, notice that we're no longer targeting Paris, which is interesting. So we're starting to focus over here with ground attacks and reconnaissance. I'm not surprised about it. I mean, we have a good number of airfields covered over here. Well, sorry, rail yards covered over here. Interesting. And obviously over here, the RAF Bomber Command is going to bomb the cities. And then we have the US Air Force targeting this area as well. So Hamburg, Bremen. There's a large number of cities that are going to be covered by that. So that's good to see. Good choices by the AI. I mean, I will, of course, change things as we need to. So what we'll do then is we'll take a look over here. Actually, let's take a look at ground support, actually. Right, ground support. Okay. Now. Ground attack, ground support. Okay, so we can see here that they are going to be supporting the 15th British Army. But I may in fact change that. Let's see. In fact, no, I'll agree with the British. Or perhaps I'll support the Americans. I'll support the Americans. The Americans have a harder time over here. Right, so I want to support the 2nd US Corps. Which comes under the 7th US Army, so we'll support the 7th US Army. Okay, so we'll set directives. And there we go. That works out. Right then. So progress with the air phase. Well, actually, if we take a look at losses again. Well, actually, no. Let's see. Battle sites is what I want to see. So, battle sites. Okay, so we can't see the previous turn of bombing, but we can see over here. Okay. So we have air combat. A large number of PF-49s. Okay. So the Italians were intercepting us over here. Right here then. Let's go forward. Execute that air directive. Actually, bugger it, turn it down to 1 so we can get through this quite quickly. Interesting. So we could see a glimpse of the forces in Sicily. Right, there we go, we're hitting them. It seems like they're abandoning somewhat the southern half, on the southern portion of Sicily. Which I can't blame them for. It's a good move, really. Pull back to where you can actually defend. So it seems like they're pulling back to, what was it, Calabria, or what was the name of the actual city? I can't recall the name of the city now. It's not Palermo, it's not Syracuse, obviously. Messina, that's it, Messina. Messina. Okay. Yep, hitting the industry over there. Hitting those rail yards. Losses aren't too bad. I mean, obviously the vast majority of our losses are coming from the air combat. A good proportion obviously coming from flak. Flak is one of those things I'm just going to have to deal with. Yeah, we are definitely messing up the Rhineland. I mean, there's going to be a significant amount of AA defenses over there. Okay. Right, so we lost about 445 aircraft, 1042 damage, so not as high as the previous week. That's good. But neither were the enemy's losses. Okay, let's see what the Strategic Air Command managed to accomplish. Bomber Command, here we go. Right, so we hit resource production. Heavy industry is the main focus, really. Doing quite well there. Resource production as well, being hit quite hard. Right, 8th US Air Force. Yeah, I completely knocked out the heavy industry in Bremen for this time. Fuel production as well. That's good. Oil production as well, being hit quite hard. Yep, oil production and fuel production. Completely knocked out here at Harburg. That's good news. Good interdiction here. Okay. Right then. So take a look over here then, we can see our depots. You can see that this depot is supplying these forces over here. This depot is supplying these forces out here. That's good. Okay. Right, so they're shipping from the UK, not shipping to the UK. Algiers is supplying here. Okay, now if we go into the commander's report and supply current, okay. Right, in fact, if I take a look at the supply details. Alright, supply details. So at the moment we're not taking supply from a depot. Okay, let's see. Okay, so these forces are prepared to drop. Is that worthwhile? Probably not, so I should retarget them. I think we'll hold on to them for the time being, actually. But for the initial... I think what we may do then is, in fact, target areas... Well, basically areas like this. Important connections. Obviously, it would be quite dangerous for that to be carried out. But it could be potentially done. What we'll do then is we'll move our forces on the actual ground here, and then we'll decide where to move our forces. Well, the airborne forces. Okay, so we do have this force over here. Right, the airborne. Right, so it seems like Catania has been abandoned, which is fantastic. If I can move into Catania, that's fantastic. Right, so we do have the 2nd US Armoured, which we can land here. We do have the 46th British Rifle and 78th British Rifle out at sea as well. Okay, what do we have? Some Canadian forces over here, so the 1st Canadian Infantry Rifle Division. Okay, let's see, can I break you up? I can break you up. So we could have them broken up into different brigades. Which I may consider in the future, but I think for the moment in time we need to establish ourselves in greatest amount of strength. Okay. Where is your Corps Command? Right, your Corps Command is over here. let's offload you. Right, there we go, you're off the ship. Right, so we can see here 27,000 tons, 3,000 tons here at the moment, so you can definitely see why these are the priority pods at the moment. You can see this one wasn't too badly damaged at 13,000 tons, but obviously it did receive substantial damage. But yes, the port of Syracuse is pretty much out of commission for the moment in time, and we have 167 troop transports available and 948 cargo. Okay, but this is priority for repair. Okay, now this is a priority unit for me. Okay. We'll move these away soon enough. So let's decide what we want to do then. We'll move out by a core basis, so we'll have the 30th Corps move out first. Well, we'll use these forces from the 13th Corps to advance northern, I think. And we'll advance on Catania. No, actually... No, we'll head over to the airfield here, and then capture that town. Modica. Okay, so that's captured. Okay, move out these forces of the 13th. Sorry, of the... Yep, the 13th. Alright, why are these forces of the 13th over here? Okay, you can make it over there to Catania. So what we'll do then is we'll have these forces transferred. Command, I believe. Okay, they're surrendering. And the Catania depot has been captured. Good news. So I could move up further, but I'm gonna hold my position here in Catania. Okay. Right, okay, so there's not enough capacity to unload them. So what we'd have to do is unload over here. That's good to know. Capacity is 25,000. So that would be pushing it over here, so what we'll do is we'll get the other forces unloaded first. There we go. Right, so we want to keep you in the depot for the moment in time. Spread out there just so we have some forces covering. Right, here we go. So we can convert the rails here. So what we want to do then is convert... probably the rails along this way. But I think I'll link up with this port here perhaps first, as we can then begin to advance towards Messina, which I think is the priority. Okay. Have the 51st move up there. First Canadian can hold the flank. Okay, let's have you transfer to the 30th Command. There we go, with the 30th Corps. What do we actually have here then? So we have a number of Canadian armoured. British Rifle, Canadian Infantry, British. Okay, Royal Engineers. Pioneers, eyes and ears. Okay, we have another section of the 13th Command. But obviously they need to be offloaded elsewhere. Now you can see that we could capture... Well, we have captured that, but obviously we can't offload there. So we'll offload over here. Begin moving out. So we have the 13th Command. Right, what we want to do then is that they are within range, and it works best for us if we have the HQ on the actual depot itself. It's the most efficient means for us to send things out. Now, because these rail lines aren't operational yet, you can see here, let's just turn this off for a moment. As you can see here that we're obviously using these rail lines. You can also see that the amount of traffic is increasing, and you can definitely see that this rail line is starting to receive a hell of a lot more logistics. I will have to find out the actual parameters for the stressing of the logistics network, You can see here as well, the logistics network is starting to come alive. And obviously for it to be taxed in Britain is quite substantial. As you can imagine here, these rail lines are dead, so if we can bring these rail lines into our control, we can start to move supply using the actual rail rather than trucks, which is a good thing. As you can see here, this depot. The depot here has 124 trucks, 1,395 freight. Okay. So we sent out 2,067 tons of supply there. Yeah, 59 trucks here, 10 trucks here. What did we capture here? A little bit of supply, a little bit of fuel. So about 32 tons of fuel. 32 tons of supply and 48 tons of fuel. Not terribly bad. At least it's something to get started with. Right, 13th. Off the ships. Right, let's cover the landing areas. Right, let's have the armor unload. There we go, armor's unloaded. And the headquarters is unloaded. So if we take a look here, the armoured can't move too far, but what we'll do then is we'll have them advance over to here to protect our landing. I'll have that US infantry, well, that US command move up to. Okay. So we need to have you assigned to that provisional command. So the provisional US Corps. Okay, so the provisional US Corps has 155mm, some AA. Okay. So AA, not bad. Combat engineers. Right, who do we have command in the provisional corps? We have Jeff de Keys. Political's quite up there. His mechanized and his infantry isn't very good, so if we were to take a look at replacing him, ideally with somebody else who's superior. So we have Major Generals here. What is the rank of... Right, so it's a Major General, okay. So if we dismiss you and have you replaced with another Major General, preferably more proficient, that would be good. Okay, so mechanized and infantry 6-5. Administrative would be good. Right, so political, morale, initiative, administrative, there we go. So I could have Ridgway Matthews. Matthews Ridgway. He's good with the infantry. Okay. Krittenberger. Willis Krittenberger. Willis D. Krittenberger. I think he'd do lovely. Right, so he's now commanding the Provisional US Corps. And there we go. That's a change already. Okay, so we have the forces over here to move out now. We'll turn this off in a moment. So you have the US engineers that are already starting to work on converting these rail lines, which is why I wanted to bring along one of these actual rail group formations, because I wanted to get the rails done quickly. I want to support the advance up to Messina. Okay. So you belong to the 2nd US Corps. 2nd US Corps is still at sea. Right, so we need to land some forces. Off the ship. Okay, so not too many forces around here with the American landings, which is good. I mean, well, not good, obviously, but we'll be able to launch more airborne raids. We do have further forces to follow up. We have British armoured, as well as more American forces to follow up. So the initial landings are obviously the most dangerous point of the campaign, but we'll have to see. It seems like the German and Italian forces are seeming to form a defensive line over here, so that's going to be difficult to hold on to, well, to beat through. So what we may have to do then is potentially just completely ignore Messina and instead land over here at Reggio Calabria. Basically knock them out from the rear and then proceed up through Italy. Ideally trapping the Hungarian armoured, well, the Hungarian Panzer Division, as well as the mechanized Panzer, well, mechanized divisions. And ideally German infantry divisions, as they're quite precious. Okay. Right, so we'll have the airborne take control of that airfield. So we can base on this airfield now. We have taken control of 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, no, these temporary airfields? I'd imagine that being a temporary airfield. Oh no, it's a proper airfield. Sweet. Okay. So this is all 2nd US Corps. Right, we'll move the 9th up. So capture the town. Okay, what we want to do then is we want to take control of these rail lines here to protect the landing area. Okay. Move you out of here. Break your web. Well, that wasn't quite what I intended to do, but I'll do. And then we'll land you off the ship. There we go, so that works out fine. Okay, so we do have forces ashore on Sicily now. We haven't encountered nearly the amount of resistance as I would have imagined, but that's not a good thing. If they'd been here on the ground to fight against us, then we would have been able to come to contact with the enemy. Would have been able to potentially use our superior numbers and superior artillery, superior AFE numbers to hurt them. But okay. Let's move up this core. There we go. Okay, so I don't have the capacity to move them right now. So we'll continue to move up these armoured forces then. Actually, it would help if they were in port, wouldn't it? Okay, so I could have you moved out. Take you off the train. I'll have you move out there, okay? Ooh, that was a heavy loss of life. Okay, we can't unload you as of yet. Let's just move you up over here just to protect the landing. There we go. So British and American forces working together quite nicely, along with some Canadian forces there too. Okay. They wouldn't be able to land this turn. Okay. Now, what I may want to consider is possibly another naval invasion. I don't think that would be needed, though. I think what we need to do is get some actual strength into the forces over here. So we'll have them made ready to land next turn. Or not. I guess they can't be shifted all at once. 70,000 tons now. We'll have the forces move out here. Or not. 27,000 tons, 27,802. Might be able to do it. Okay, importantly, no losses. So we'll be able to move some more men across. I'll try. Right. Let's have them there for the moment. Obviously these forces will be sent across soon. I mean, yeah, you can see here we only have 23,000 tons of freight capacity available. Okay. Let's retarget these. New target. Well, actually, what we'll do then is we'll wait and see, but I will target the British Airborne. Oh, so that's the US Airborne. No, the British Airborne, which are significantly stronger, actually. Yeah, they have about double the strength. Okay, second British Special Services. Okay, these commandos, actually. Probably should have had them sent through. Ah, well. What is the transport cost? Yeah, it's really quite low, actually. I don't imagine they'd be able to unload over there. I could have them unload over there. Or not, because they don't have enough MP. That's fine. We'll have you assigned to this local commando. There we go. Right, I could hit that. Though hitting here would be... Actually, no, here would... maybe. I mean, they do have the 2 ports over here. So, I mean, if we were to hit here, then obviously it would sever the rail network to this island. Well, to this part of the island from Messina over here in Palermo. If I was to hit here, then I think that would have the same intended purpose. Also, it's not too far away from our own forces, so they're less likely to be destroyed. So I'll have them there. And then I'll be able to drop them in the following turn. I think we need a nice large air landing around here, potentially. But I think that should be enough. We just need to move up forces to be able to help them out. I'm gonna be quite sparing with my airborne forces, mostly because they're incredibly valuable. And I don't want to lose them. Okay. Now, in fact, moving them via sea is a very quick way, but it's quite dangerous. So I think what I will do then again, the issue is I'm going to be stressing the rail networks, which are already being stressed now. I mean, due to the movement along the rails, that's been stressed out quite heavily. So what we may do then is have them move along the coast, reduce the amount of interdiction potentially. If we take a look here, so reconnaissance levels, interdiction levels. So you can see here, level 2 interdiction, level 3 interdiction around here, so it gets quite dangerous potentially. Actually, no, this is our interdiction. Axis interdiction increases obviously around the coast of Sicily. So we should be okay. Should. So we'll move those forces out there. Yep, no loss is fantastic. Awesome. I'll have that transferred to that command in time, just make things easier. Okay. Yeah, you can see that's really stressed out the network. Didn't mean to do that. Right, issue is obviously we need a port that can handle it. And these tuners. Notice how they're traveling a different way now. There you go, so you can see that's really stressed out the logistics network. Okay. Right, so you can see the supply is now coming. There we go. But we'll call it here. So thank you for watching, guys, and I hope to see you again in the future. Do remember to support the get a Grigsby creators and Matrix games, Liberian games, that sort of thing, and go ahead and pick up your own copy today. So until next time, thank you for watching. If you're new to the channel, do subscribe, and goodbye for now, guys. See you all very, very soon.